Hey, France audience,
Yeah.
watch. Game time.
Game time.
Game time.
Today, I'm going to be making a comparison video between Calgary and Toronto, and I'm going to be comparing and rating the best restaurants and food. So the other week, I went and traveled to Calgary for an entire week, and instead of going there to, head over to Banff and do some hiking, I actually did the opposite and I stuffed myself with food the entire week. And I did this because I want to help you guys, because people have this perception that out in Calgary, the food just isn't as good as Toronto. But the thing about Calgary is housing is a lot more affordable out there. So you win some and you lose some, but like how much better or how much worse is it really out in Calgary? So in this video, I'm going to be telling you exactly the difference when I go to each of these restaurants. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, do me a favor, smash the like button down below. The Loki, the dog that's coming in this video right now, will appreciate it. And now let's start off with the first restaurant. The first we have is Kinjo Sushi and Grill. So although not known for its breakfast, it's like a hidden gem because this bagel itself was literally only $5, which consists of bagel itself, tomato, avocado, bolognese sauce. And for that sweet deal, I have to give it at least an 8 out of 10. The next place I headed over to was Village Ice Cream, and this was perfect because the entire week I was out in Calgary, there was a heat wave, which is a little bit ironic because a lot of people have this idea that Calgary, even during the summer, isn't all too hot, but the week that I went, scorching hot. So to tell you a little bit about Village Ice Cream, they are, I believe it's a local favorite. They have 4 shops out in the city of Calgary and they make their ice creams right at home. So they offer rich and delicious small batch ice cream. I believe I got mint ice cream or some other fancy title, but nonetheless, mint flavor. But I would give this place, just because I'm more of a gelato person, I'd give it a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. The thing I've noticed about Calgary and its restaurant scene is that, is it as good as Toronto? So I'm not going to pretend that it's as good, but I will say that a lot of the options still exist out here. This place I want to bring up because I made a video a few years back when I was in Calgary, and I made like an ultimate bubble tea video for fun. I think this is when I was unemployed, but regardless, this is the place that I declared as the winner of my ultimate bubble tea challenge. So I might make another one of this in the future, but there was very nostalgia coming back here. I ordered the trio, but nonetheless, just because the alley, gotta give it 7.5 out of 10. This place right here, I want to bring to your guys' attention because it is probably my favorite ramen shop based out in Calgary. It is called Shiki Menya, and they are so good. Like every bowl that you're looking at, so that's some spicy miso I believe I got. The bowl itself is a little bit on the pricier side. It's $20, but I would say as a person that has been to many ramen shops in Toronto, I would say this place is better than a lot of the shops in Toronto, if not better than even my favorite place out in Toronto. So that's saying quite a lot. So although the price point is on the higher side, this place has really unique flavors for the ramen. So I definitely recommend if you're going here. If I have to rate it, I'd give it 8.5 or 9 out of 10. One little nice thing that caught me off guard, but in a positive way, is that even if you're going out to Starbucks or if you're going to a restaurant to eat, the menu prices that you see, even when you ask for a bill, it's not as high as you're kind of anticipating because it's only 5% tax, which is quite nice. This was the next day when we went out for lunch. This pink restaurant was called Bussin Burger, and the food here was actually really good. The decor on the window, if you see out there, the reason why you see those kind of cartoon characters was because it was during Calgary Stampede. So this was on 17th Avenue. But overall, this burger itself was really good. It was arguably on par, if not better than, say, like Five Guys burgers that I'm kind of used to going to. But this place, pretty sweet deal. So you saw that hamburger right there, that and the fries itself was only $11.99. So I would give this place, I'd give it, let's just say 7.5 or an 8 out of 10 in terms of a burger. Later on in the evening, we checked out Marda Loop's night market. So although it's called a night market, looking at this vlog right now, it's like pretty much looks like daylight. But I believe we went there around 7 or 8 p.m. But the thing that you probably might not know about this is that Calgary is one of the sunniest major cities out in Canada. So I got sunlight up until like 10 p.m. when I was going down here. And another thing that I noticed is that I've been to a few Toronto night markets, and they're usually like overcrowded with a bunch of people, venues, food options all up in my face. But this was like a little bit different, and as you can tell, there's not as many people. I did wish there was more food options, but overall it's kind of unique and different. So Food Coma was the place that stuck out to me, so that was pretty cool to see overall. This is now the next day, and I actually hung out with an old friend of mine. And the funny part is he's actually from Toronto and moved to Calgary, and he was telling me how Toronto, it just isn't it. I like the quieter life is what he says, and I don't blame him. But we actually went to play some basketball, and so I met up with him downtown, caught the C train over here. So one interesting thing is that in the certain zones out in Calgary downtown, the C train is actually free, and kind of feels like the Toronto streetcar, but like I said, it's free, so I can't complain.
That's what you guys do.
Hey, Frank's audience.
Yeah.
Watch. Game time.
Game time.
Game time.
Come on, man.
It's criminal.
Ready?
I'm good. I ain't no pass.
Shoot. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. You guys are bitches.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, nice. 9-7.
9-7. 9-7.
Good shot. Good shot. Hi, that was one.
Hey,
That was one.
it's done. That's 1-1.
After playing some basketball, I wanted to go to somewhere special for my final dinner out in Calgary, and plus I was pretty hungry at this point. So I was recommending this place called Cheongdam Korean BBQ, and as a person who tried many barbecues out in Toronto, so whether it's Korean or Japanese barbecue, I was really hoping for this place to be like kind of like the banger or something really good. And I will say that the only thing that really stuck out to me was the marinated short rib that was probably better than some of the dishes out in Toronto. But I will say overall, I can't lie to you guys, Toronto definitely is the winner for barbecue. This place didn't really even come close. I would give this place, sadly, and I regret to say this, but 6.5 out of 10. This is now the next day, and in the morning, I was gonna catch my flight in the noon hour, but I went to grab some breakfast. So I went to this place called Bro'kin Yolk, and this is one of my favorite brunch spots out in Calgary. And here's the menu itself. It's an extensive menu. It's quite good. So like when you go in there, you'll notice like it's a more like trendy, hip hoppy. It's kind of like Shiki Menya vibes if anyone out in Calgary has been there. But it's inspired by, I think, Filipino food. So there's pork and rice and eggs over here that I got. A little bit on the salty side for the dish that I got. My sister got French toast with berries over here, so this was really good. Tasty. My brother-in-law got a hamburger, so a little bit on the heavier side for a breakfast. But those hash browns or those fries were really, really good. So I definitely, every time I'm out in Calgary, I love going to Bro'kin Yolk just because the food there for brunch is just really, really good. So there you guys have it. That is my vlog or my trip out in Calgary. Tried many, many different restaurants and food. And I will say that Toronto is hands down the winner in terms of food. This doesn't even come close. But I am surprised that I noticed that there's a lot of new restaurants up and coming out in Calgary. So I'm really excited to see what places are going to be coming up in the near future. See you all in the next one.